So the next use case is the rollout of a new OpenStack instance. So before we've just looked at how do we increase capacity within an existing OSP instance, we just want to do a new rollout of a completely new OSP instance now. And basically this use case is about the cloud admin using the Roll OSP installer to roll out a whole new OSP instance. The good thing is, the benefit is that Roll OSP contains a full lifecycle management solution for the OpenStack platform, but also for other infrastructure products. In this version that we're having here, it's primarily about storage that can be rolled out as part of it. In the future, it is really a full lifecycle management platform for all the infrastructure components. Here we can see that we can roll out OpenStack software-defined storage or software-defined networking solution all together. And as I said, we're evolving it towards a single pane of glass for infrastructure management. This means logging is centralized in it, the full lifecycle management is centralized in it. We can do a centralized monitoring there. So this is why it changes its name from OpenStack Installer to OpenStack Director. So really here, the cloud admin uses the management tools that come with Roll OSP to roll out a new OpenStack instance. So I'm logging into the OSP installer. I'm still logged in as administrator. Just wondering if I'm still logged in, just to be sure. I'm just reloading the page. Yeah, looks good. And I'm now moving to new deployment. And now I'm presented with a screen that allows me to configure a new deployment. Before I do that, I see I've missed something. I wanted to show you that we've already prepared our environment. If we look at the list of discovered hosts that's there, you can see there's still 3 discovered hosts. This means I used Rev to create 3 virtual machines that are pretty much empty. They don't have any operating system configured on top of that. They just booted, and via Pixie Boot they registered themselves with the OSP installer. So this is why they're available in that list. And those are the 3 machines I'm using to deploy OpenShift on, OpenStack on. So I'm naming this deployment Willi, and there's a couple of configuration adjustments I could make. However, I'm just using the defaults. And in the next step, I need to do the network configuration. I need to assign which network operates on which interface. So the tenant network will operate on this one, and the public API will be on this one. And pretty much what you can see here, you can do a complex network configuration just by dragging and dropping. It discovered the network interfaces on the hosts, looks at it. I could even define new subnets if I know that additional network interfaces and configurations are required. So this is really a very simple interface to do a complex configuration. And once I hit next, it will generate the whole network configuration and generate a coordinated way of which service listens on what endpoint, etc., and stores that in the database. And after a couple of seconds, the next thing that we will see is the actual services overview. So really the key benefit here is we have, for a quite complex task, we have a very simple user interface that makes it very user-friendly and therefore reduces the amount of errors that you could probably make in this very complex configuration step. Okay. Next thing is, this is pretty much just a review step. One thing I do want to point out is we have 2 flavors of nodes that we can roll out. We have a controller node and a compute node. The compute node just has the Nova Compute agent and the Open vSwitch agent. The controller has all the other OpenStack services. And as I said before, very important, we have this under HA control through the pacemaker tool, which ensures a quick failover of services among the nodes. And we have an HA proxy, which allows us to balance loads between the nodes in an active-active configuration. So when I hit next, I need to specify some more details on the configuration of the various services. Specifically, I can leave all the defaults. Specifically important is to identify which storage backend to use. Since I'm doing a very simple rollout, I'm using LVM. System tells me I can only use a single controller node in this case. For the other rollout, we have used Ceph as a centralized software-defined storage environment. And out of the box, there's a couple of other storage backends supported. So now when I hit submit, basically the whole configuration of how the OpenStack environment should look is created and stored in the database as a completely new deployment. And the next step would then be to assign specific hosts to the specific roles. So I don't particularly care about which Rev virtual machine uses which role. So I'm just assigning the first Rev virtual machine as a controller. And I will assign the next second Rev virtual machines as compute instances. And from this point on, it pretty much resembles what you've seen before when we rolled out an additional compute node. So what I need to do next is, once I've assigned the roles, I need to configure the networks. So I'm moving down the API. Let me just ensure that I'm doing this correctly. I'm moving down the API to the second network interface. Again, everything done via drag and drop, very simple. And I'm moving down external to the third interface. Once I've done that, I can deploy, confirm that networks have been configured properly. And when I hit deploy, pretty much the same workflow that we've seen before continues to run. And now a completely new OpenStack region, a complete new OpenStack deployment is now deployed into the Rev environment. So looking at the overview of the existing deployments that are there, the Roll OSP deployment, let's see the status of the compute node we rolled out before. Okay, you can see everything is deployed here now. If we now look into the Horizon dashboard, we should now be able to see that a new hypervisor is present. Of course, it's currently not running any instance, but this is basically the new node that we rolled out as part of our process. That pretty much concludes the admin steps of our demo, and we would now move over to the cloud workloads. So I might do additional small break now, and then I'll do the next two use cases, the distributed container runtime and platform